When you hear this, turn the page. The Ghostbusters. This is the story of three brilliant professors who were once at Columbia University doing research work into paranormal happenings. Or, in other words, studying ghosts. They were Dr. Venkman, Dr. Spengler, and Dr. Stantz. One afternoon, in the New York Public Library, 10 people witnessed a free-floating, full-torso, vaporous ghost. It blew books off shelves and scared the daylight out of the librarian.
Oh, dearie me! Oh, my stars! Oh, heavens!
The three professors were asked if they could do something about it. Dr. Stantz led them down into the dark, musty library basement, where a pile of books flew across and hit them. Dr. Venkman frowned.
I don't like this spook's sense of humor.
However, Dr. Spengler had seen a horrible, slimy substance over everything, and his extrasensory detector instrument was winking. "It's here," he murmured. They could see a woman sitting reading a book. Nothing unusual about that, except that she was floating 3 feet above the ground, and she was transparent. They jumped on her, went straight through her, and fell in a heap on top of each other. Then the woman changed into a huge, red, fire-breathing skull. The three heroes ran and ran until they found a taxi. Back at the university, several things happened to them. They decided they could now certainly catch a ghost, and even hold it indefinitely. The authorities, however, gave them the sack. So they decided to set up a ghost-catching company called Ghostbusters. Dr. Venkman and Spengler generously allowed Stantz to supply the money. They bought premises at an old fire station, hired a secretary, and advertised. They were in business. Their first client was Dana Barrett, who had been having trouble with her refrigerator. It had growled at her, which is unusual for a fridge. And when she had opened the door, the inside was a fiery inferno with shafts of light, swirling purple mist, and fantastic shapes, and more growls. Venkman promised to print it. The Ghostbusters got their first big case. A spook had invaded the Sedgwick Hotel. Jumping into their gleaming silver ectomobile, strobe lights flashing and sirens wailing, they headed towards the hotel. Once there, they took the lift to the haunted 12th floor. Stantz cleared his throat.
You know, we've never yet really tested this equipment.
Spengler frowned. No use worrying about it now. Venkman shrugged.
Sure, we've only got untried nuclear accelerators on our backs, no problem.
Stantz ordered.
Try them.
They did. The lift rattled hideously. The three Ghostbusters looked a bit worried, but on reaching the 12th floor and advancing down the corridor, they discovered it was full of smoke and weird sounds. Then they saw it, and they goggled at it. A vaporous green sack with a mouth floating above a food trolley, slurping scraps and leftovers into its wet, slobbering mouth.
My, it is ugly.
Stantz pointed his nuclear accelerator at the horrible blob.
Freeze, slob face.
But the blob turned, covered Venkman with slime, and swirled downstairs. The Ghostbusters caught up with it in the ballroom, where it was hovering in a vapor on the ceiling. Stance commanded.
Visors down. Take aim.
They pointed their nuclear accelerators at it, while it grinned down at them. Venkman fired and missed. The huge chandelier disintegrated and fell to the tables below. Wait! Spengler held his hand up. Don't cross fire! Stance was confused.
Why not?
If the streams meet, we all explode at the speed of light.
Glad you mentioned it.
They triggered off 2 streams of the blob, and Stance managed to hit it. Then Venkman opened up the ecto-containment ghost trap, and they eased the blob down towards it. Spengler pressed the trap button. A pyramid of white light shot out, trapped the green ghost blob. There was a flash of pink light, a puff of smoke, and...
It's in there.
Beaming broadly, they reported to the manager and asked for a fee of $5,000 for catching the ghost and $1,000 for storing it. They were now in the big time.
From the Washington Post.
TV, press, radio, the whole media were geared into the exploits of the Ghostbusters. In fact, they got so busy that they had to take on extra help in the shape of Winston Zeddem. Ghosts were suddenly seen everywhere, and the Ghostbusters trapped so many that their storage space was getting overcrowded. Then Dana Barrett had new problems. Venkman had gone to her flat, anticipating a quiet, cozy evening, only to discover that she had been visited by 2 phantom, black-snouted, red-eyed, vicious terror dogs. They had, quite understandably, changed Dana's personality. The new Dana looked at Venkman.
Are you the Keymaster?
Venkman was a little surprised.
Not that I know of.
Then, with dead-looking eyes, Dana announced,
I am Zul. I am the gatekeeper. We must prepare for the coming of Gozor.
Then she floated around the room and hovered above the bed. Dana's fussy neighbor, Louis, had had a nasty experience with the terror dogs, too, and, under their influence, became the Keymaster of Gozor. With this rather unusual state of affairs, the Ghostbusters hoped the Keymaster wouldn't meet up with the gatekeeper, because anything could happen then. When the music stops, turn the cassette over. About this time, Walter Peck, a very bossy official from the Environment Agency, had decided that the Ghostbusters' storage space in the fire station did not meet regulations and ordered it to be opened up for inspection. Spangler had objected. Mr. Peck, try to understand. The store is a high-voltage laser containment system. Turning it off will be like dropping a bomb on the city. Peck was stubborn.
I'm not stupid. Turn it off.
We will not be responsible if you do.
Venkman persisted.
Look, I'm not one of those idiots who believe in your ghosts. Officer, turn it off.
The officer threw the switch. The needle dropped. The power slowed down. Then, just as Peck started to grin, the building started to shake, and from it emerged a thick, whining, rising, glistening, purple geyser of light, which erupted into a huge mass in the sky. Like a vast, terrifying comet, it raced to Dana's apartment, where she was standing in the ruins, saying,
Now I must wait for the coming of the Keymaster.
Peck ordered the Ghostbusters and Winston to be arrested for causing a nuisance. And Fussy Louie, now the Keymaster, went to Dana's apartment.
Oh.
He asked her,
Are you the gatekeeper?
She smiled.
I am Zul.
Then a blast of thunder and lightning shuddered the building and caused the very earth to move. The gatekeeper and the Keymaster had met. The ensuing chaos caused panic in the city, and a plague of ghosts broke out. The mayor released the Ghostbusters from prison, placed every resource at their disposal, saying,
Now, Ghostbusters, it's up to you.
And so, with a National Guard escort and a cheering population, the Ghostbusters set off in the ectomobile to clear up the situation. They had a couple of minor mishaps to start with, like falling down an earthquake crack and nearly choking to death with spook fumes. But eventually, they climbed the 35 flights of stairs to Dana's room.
Dana!
There was no one there. Everything was demolished. So they went on up some stairs, which it appeared and led to the roof. There they saw the most incredible sight of their lives. Dana and Louie had transformed into terror dogs. Winston was just saying how he would like to emigrate to Australia when a vivid white light glowed and a beautiful woman appeared and fondled the terror dogs. Stance whispered, It's Gozor. Suddenly aware of their presence, she stared at them, and they quaked in their boots. Venkman asked Stance,
Are you sure it's Gozor? We don't want to offend anybody.
Stance called,
Gozor! The Gozerian?
Gozor answered,
Are you a god?
No.
Then die!
and she sent searing bolts of energy which pushed the Ghostbusters to the very roof edge. Venkman whispered,
Next time, say you're a god.
The Ghostbusters were angry now and unleashed all their weaponry at the apparition. In one pink flash, Gozor vanished, and the terror dogs turned into stone. Winston was pleased.
We did it! We did it! Mm-hmm.
Spengler paused. I'm not too sure. Spengler was right. There was a thunderclap, and a hideous voice was heard.
Some creatures. Gozor, the Destructor, the Traveler has come. Choose in your minds how you will be destroyed. Choose!
Venkman acted quickly.
Don't choose anything. Make your minds a blank.
My mind's a total void.
The choice is made.
No! Who? Stance confessed.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
The Ghostbusters gaped in astonishment at a great fat arm which appeared over the building.
What is it?
It's Mr. Stay Puft, the Marshmallow Man. He just popped into my mind and...
The Marshmallow Man?
Stance swallowed.
He was on all the packages when I was a kid. We used to roast Marshmallow Man and...
Venkman was grim.
Great. Now the marshmallows get their revenge.
The great, mushy creature towered over buildings and streets, its immense, spongy feet squashing everything in its path as it approached them. Full stream with Strogon Plus! Spengler snapped. Let him have it! They took aim. Cross beams! Spengler yelled. Venkman winced.
You said crossing beams would kill us all! Okay, either way we lose.
They all fired their weapons. The result was not awful. It was ghastly. At the focal point of the crossbeams, a searing globe of plasma obliterated the terror dogs and the building in a wave of heat and light. The marshmallow monster burst in a massive cyclone, spraying molten marshmallow over the rooftops and the Ghostbusters. But as they stood speechless, covered in sticky gunge, the sky opened up, and the flaming gas and carbonized ash was sucked straight up into the center of a whirlwind of air. God Gozor was defeated. The Ghostbusters had won! Then, a faint scratching came from the charred terror dogs. Cracks appeared. Venkman tore them open, and Dana's face appeared bemused and blinking in the sunlight. Venkman freed her, while the others released a bewildered Louie from the other terror dog. As they all left the building, they were greeted by a deafening ovation from the populace, jubilant that the great ghost plague was over. Venkman waved back to the cheering crowd. He knew that one day in the future, these people would have more trouble with more ghosts and creatures that go bump in the night. And who will they call upon? Of course, the Ghostbusters.